Hi, my name's Ewan Campbell, career coach at My 90,000, speaking to you from London, England, and welcome to this webinar. In 45 minutes' time, you will be equipped with the mindset, strategy, and some proven techniques to help you to discover your dream career. And in the process, we're going to examine why the typical mindset and approach to choosing a career path just isn't working for people, and why so many of us get stuck in roles and careers that we dislike, which may all sound very ambitious for 45 minutes, but I promise we'll get there. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. So first things first, who's this for? Well, this is for anyone who wants to make the most of their career, who wants to find work that matters to them, motivates them, fascinates them, and that pays. Of course, this will be particularly useful for individuals on the brink of change. So, say students looking to enter the job world or working professionals considering career changes. Now, I want to state my intentions up front. What's in this for me? Why am I running this webinar and giving away all these career insights for free? Well, there are two reasons, a business one and a humanitarian one. So let's cover the business one first. As a career coach, I make a living helping people to find careers that they love. It really is a wonderful and rewarding job. And so, as you'd probably expect, I offer a coaching program on this exact topic. It's called Discover Your Dream Job. This is a screenshot of it from my website, www.my90000.com. And in the interest of total transparency, I will be talking a bit about this program at the end of the webinar and offering a free of charge 30-minute sample coaching session for anyone who wants to try it out. But the second and more important reason is that we've got ourselves a global career crisis. So many people are in roles or careers that they don't enjoy that they wince at the thought of returning to on a Sunday evening. I saw the other day in Gallup's State of the Global Workplace survey that 85% of us feel disengaged at work. 85%, and that's globally, so billions of people. Now, combine that pretty shocking statistic with the fact that 45% of our waking lives are spent at work. So think about that for a second. 85% of us are spending about half of our waking lives feeling demotivated and not really enjoying ourselves. I mean, talk about living for the weekend. It's a pretty unacceptable situation, I think. Is it too much to imagine that 85% of us might feel engaged, motivated, and happy for that important half of our working lives, our waking lives? For me, that's the humanitarian goal here. We've got to turn that 85% on its head. And the easiest way for me to do that is to spread the word about what's going wrong, how we've ended up here, and what we can do to make it right. And I hope that with what I'm about to share, people can find roles and careers that really suit them and that they find worthwhile, that play to their greatest strengths, that motivate them and interest them intrinsically. That's the dream. And perhaps one day they'll teach us how to choose a career path at school. But until that wonderful day, I offer you this webinar. So, who am I and how did I come across these insights? How can you trust what I'm about to share with you? Well, as I said at the very start, my name's Ewan. I'm a trained career coach. I trained with the Coactive Training Institute, or CTI. Give them a search. They're a highly reputable coaching body. And the main thing you should know about me is that I'm fascinated by the topics of self-fulfillment and self-knowledge, both of which are essential components to discovering your dream career. I studied these topics in depth during my degree at Oxford University and have since looked at them from a modern psychology perspective as a behavior change consultant for many organizations in the FTSE 100. And now, as a career coach, it's an honor to use that knowledge to coach individuals to more fulfilling and flourishing careers. But I wasn't always doing work that lights me up. Before becoming a career coach, I was an innovation and strategy consultant. I led project teams to help blue chip multinationals uncover gaps in the market and to build new products and services, which is the perfect career for some people, but in the long run really wasn't quite right for me. But I navigated my way to a career that is right for me because I adopted and implemented the mindset, strategy, and techniques that I'm about to share with you today. And I share it with you now so that you might avoid ending up in that disengaged 85%, or if you're already in that 85%, that you might find your way out of it and develop instead your ideal career. So, what is preventing so many of us from discovering our dream careers? Now, I'm not for a second going to argue that there's just one reason, because individual circumstances play a role in this, which can be many and varied. There are also some things that are truly outside of our control, which make finding our ideal career challenging. And we could dissect that for hours. Instead, I want to focus on what is in our control and offer something that every single one of us, regardless of our circumstances, can affect. And that is our mindset. I want to suggest that one particular mindset is preventing us from finding our ideal career, and that is the destination mindset, where we make decisions, career decisions, for the sake of external rewards and outcomes. A classic example of an external reward could be more money or the social recognition, perhaps, that we feel we'll get from being promoted. These are the outcomes and rewards that we go after with a destination mindset. And if we only ever adopt this mindset, we can end up feeling very unhappy at work and in that disengaged 85%. And I want to stress that this mindset isn't inherently bad or wrong. It can be really, really helpful. But if we only ever adopt this mindset, that's where we can start running into roles and careers that aren't right for us. So let's take a look at this mindset in action. It starts young. We're told things like study hard at school to get good grades, to get a good job. We learn that this quote unquote good job is the ultimate destination that we should be aiming for, and that good grades are an important short term destination. As for the studying, learning bit, well, it's not that important in and of itself. It's more of a means to reaching these other destinations, the good grades and then the good job. So we decide to study hard for the sake of these external rewards and outcomes, those being the good grades and then hopefully the good job. And then age 16 or 17, believing that the ultimate and most important destination is that quote unquote good job, some of us will apply for university and for courses that we think will put us in the best position for getting that good job. Again, making our decision for the sake of an external reward or outcome, the quote unquote good job. And in doing so, turning down courses that we may actually love and find far more interesting. But they don't get a look in because the course is just a means to an end. This can result, as I'm sure some of you have experienced, in a tough time at university, spending 3 or 4 years studying something that we're not that interested in. That can be really hard to do. Some of you may be in this position right now, or perhaps you're way past uni, but you can still remember being in this position, or at least friends who were. Either way, for many of us who experience this, it's the first indication that the destination mindset has its risks and can leave us feeling unhappy. And it's a precursor of what could happen in our careers if we continue to only adopt this mindset. So, moving on, when it comes to our careers in earnest, how do we decide what to do? Well, most of us, if we're being honest, haven't got a clue what we want to do. Like the jigsaw puzzle pieces here, there are thousands of possible careers and jobs available to us. It can feel overwhelming. I remember I'd sort of hoped that my ideal career would just appear to me in a vision during uni. It never did. So there I was, 21 years old, about to leave university and trying to decide what to do with my life. And so, like most students, I went to the careers fair and thank the Lord, on stalls around me with a short list of those quote unquote good jobs I'd always heard about, all offering good money and a good job title, the hallmarks of a good job. And so many of us, surrounded by all of this, continue with our hardwired destination mindset and apply for these good jobs. Why? Well, we know for the external rewards and outcomes they offer, the good money, a reputable job title. And we do this, even if our destination mindset has led us to choose a university course that we didn't actually enjoy, yet still many of us adopt the same thinking as we start our careers. And understandably so. Our surroundings, the careers fairs, our friends, our own hardwired mindsets, they're all telling us that this is the way to go. So we consider a short list of those good jobs, and based off a combination of instincts, maybe some research, and if we're lucky, a bit of work experience, we pick one and we apply for roles. And if two companies offer us a job, how do we typically decide between the two? Oh, yes, you guessed it, by thinking about the external rewards or outcomes. Which company would look best on my CV or resume? Which would set me up best for future jobs and destinations? Which one would pay me more money now and in the long run? And that's the thing with this mindset. We're rarely in the present doing things for the sake of the present. Instead, we're always making decisions for the sake of those external rewards and outcomes. I want to take a quick pause for a second just to make sure I'm making something really clear. These quote unquote traditionally well regarded jobs I'm talking about, I'm not saying that they're bad career choices. That's not what I'm saying at all. Some people go into jobs like this and they absolutely love it. And what I'm suggesting is the issue is the destination mindset, where we opt for these jobs not really because of the job itself and whether we think it's right for us, but primarily for the sake of the external rewards and outcomes that those jobs offer, the money, the status, how it looks on our CV or resume. Just imagine if those careers were low paying and were considered low status. Would we honestly still be applying for them in droves? For those of us with the destination mindset, they'd fall off the list because they wouldn't be offering attractive external rewards and outcomes. So, as I say, these good jobs can be fantastic careers for people. What we need to be aware and conscious of is why we're really choosing them. So, we continue. And now, a few years into our good career, we look up the corporate ladder, each rung a new destination for us to aim for with better external rewards and outcomes. And thank God for that, because otherwise, we'd have to come up with our own destination. But thankfully, our company has laid it out all for us, just like the careers fair laid out all the good jobs for us. And so we get promoted and move up a few or perhaps several rungs on the ladder until one Sunday something happens. Thoughts and feelings that have been emerging, bubbling for some time, finally crystallize into a coherent realization. And we suddenly realize that we can't bear the prospect of going to work on Monday. And that's when we realize it. This job isn't right for us. It plays too little to our strengths. We don't really enjoy it. And we've lost all motivation for it. So we arrive at a crisis point. No one had told us that this would happen. We did everything right, studied hard to get the good grades, to get the good job, to make good money. But here we are in a role or career that isn't right for us, at the wrong destination. And now I imagine for some of you listening who are in your careers and who have experienced arriving at the wrong destination, that the wrong role or career, that this might be resonating and perhaps helps to explain how it all happened. And for those of you who haven't started work yet, hopefully you can see the risks of the destination mindset and how by making decisions for the sake of these external rewards and outcomes, we can end up in roles and careers that aren't right for us. And what can make this crisis point particularly challenging is that for many of us, we haven't admitted to ourselves that we've been making decisions with a destination mindset. Our internal narrative might say something like, I chose this career because I love the work involved. I love the day-to-day. Passion led me here. After all, it's probably what we said in our interview to get the job. Yet here we are at the wrong destination, and we can't understand how this has happened because we convinced ourselves that we chose the career because it's the right fit for us, when in fact we chose it primarily for the sake of its external rewards and outcomes, and only secondarily for the work itself, which we simply preferred the look of to those other quote unquote good jobs. If we can just admit to ourselves that the destination mindset is governing our decisions, then it all becomes a lot easier. So we've arrived at the destination mindset and we start thinking about making a change. Some of us begin to feel trapped as we start thinking about this. Firstly, there's the no small matter of figuring out what to do instead. That's a head scratcher. How do I begin going about thinking about alternative roles or careers? That's a massive question. And between living my life and my existing job, I really don't have time to think about it. Then there's the matter of sunk cost. We know how to do our job pretty well. Pretty well. We've been promoted a few times. Even if we don't enjoy the job that much, we also don't like the idea of throwing away all that hard work. Then there's the fear of falling behind our peers and friends. If we change career direction now, we might have to start over again. We might be in a less senior position on less money. What if I can't afford to do the things my friends like to do? What if they think less of me? And then there's the matter of real financial loss. We've got bills to pay, mouths to feed, lives to lead. What if we change role or career and it doesn't work out? Change feels like a risk in this situation. And worst of all, because the destinations have been pretty much laid out for us up until this point, good grades, good job, good money, the prospect of choosing our own new destination can feel quite overwhelming. And so you can see how how powerful this destination mindset is, how it affects our decisions, our actions, and can leave us in a position where we feel trapped in a role or career that doesn't fulfill us and where we feel we're not flourishing. And if this sounds familiar to you, you're not alone. I think a destination mindset is probably the default mindset for a lot of us. And as a result, it's not often one that we consciously choose, examine, or admit to. So, what can we do about this? Particularly if you're at school or university, you might be thinking, well, I definitely don't want to end up in the disengaged 85% and trapped in a career I don't like. No one wants that. But how am I meant to know when I haven't even started my career what job would suit me? Or if you're in your career and are feeling disengaged in a job that you're currently in, you might be thinking a similar question. I know this job's not right for me, but how do I figure out what is right for me? It's not like I've had a chance to try out every job in the world. Well, the good news is you don't need to. All we need to do is move away from our destination mindset and try out a different mindset. And that is the journey mindset, where we make decisions not for the sake of those external rewards and outcomes, but for the sake of internal rewards. Let me show you what this looks like. So instead of the narrative, study hard at school to get good grades, to get a good job, the focus instead is on noticing. What was your favorite part of school today? What are you looking forward to tomorrow at school? We're encouraged to really engage with the journey, with the present, and to notice what activities offer us internal rewards, feelings of joy, challenge, discovery, learning, to pursue what we enjoy and indulge in learning for its own sake, not just for the sake of good grades and future rewards and outcomes. Hopefully you can see how different this mindset is already to the destination mindset. Then age 16 or 17, knowing which subjects we enjoy and which matter most to us, we choose a university course on those grounds, on the basis of internal rewards, not the ones that we think will get us those quote unquote good jobs. And we take the opportunity to indulge ourselves in our favorite subject for 3 or 4 years, which is an opportunity we will likely never get again. And so here we're staying present, we're following our nose with the journey mindset to notice what subjects we're drawn to and interest us the most. And then when it comes to starting our careers in earnest, how do we decide what to do faced with so many options, so many jigsaw puzzle pieces? Well, whereas with the destination mindset, we chose from a short list of good jobs. You probably can imagine the ones I'm talking about, and thereby basing our decision first and foremost around those external rewards, the money, the status, how it looks on our CV. This time, with the journey mindset, we make our decision first and foremost with internal rewards in mind, thinking about the job itself, the work involved, and the day-to-day, which in practical terms means starting with no short list of jobs in mind. In fact, we start with a completely blank sheet of paper, so you can clear away all those jigsaw puzzle pieces. And from this blank piece of paper, we ask ourselves questions about our life, our journey so far, and we start mining it for valuable information, asking ourselves questions like, what skills do I most enjoy using? What activities do I most enjoy doing? What topics do I find most interesting? What causes matter most to me? What field or topic do I want to contribute my efforts and energy towards? As well as some more practical questions, what salary and working conditions would I find acceptable? These aren't all the questions that we can ask ourselves. There are many, many more, but they're a useful sample. And by answering these questions, we start to build up a picture of our ideal role or career. And only then do we start thinking about jobs, finding the jobs and companies that most closely match our ideal role. Do you see how different this is to the destination mindset? With that mindset being fixed on external outcomes, the money, how it'll look on your CV or resume, the journey mindset, in contrast, prioritizes what you'll actually enjoy and be suited to, which in turn means that you'll have a real drive, energy, and motivation to do the job. Now, this approach to choosing a career path, these are asking these questions and starting from a blank piece of paper. There are two major benefits here. The first is that by asking yourself these questions, you're recognizing that you have a wealth of information in your brain about what role or career you'd be suited to if you only choose to ask the right questions and to access that information. And of course, the more life experience you have, if you've been working for a few years, the more information you will have to mine and assess. This exercise is useful for students trying to decide what to do for their first job, but it also works for mid-career professionals looking for a role or career change. You really have so much information in your brain that can help you figure out your next direction. Now, the second major benefit of asking yourself these questions is that it takes the shackles off. Your thinking and imagination isn't bound by jobs that currently exist because you're starting with yourself rather than with a short list of good jobs. So with this approach, you get to start from a blank piece of paper and really tap into you, what you want and what you need. And then once you've been through this liberating and quite fun process, you can assess where you've arrived. Do any jobs or careers exist that look like my ideal role? If not, what roles are closest to it? And maybe once you've done this, your ideal job will read like a job description for one of those quote unquote good jobs, in which case, happy days, your journey mindset and destination mindset are in sync. But as you can imagine, that doesn't always happen. And if it does, one thing to watch out for, confirmation bias. This is where your destination mindset is so strong, and because you've been so fixated on that good job for so many years that you find it hard to let go and start cherry picking evidence from your past that proves you'd make the perfect banker or whatever it is. But just something to watch out for. Now, hopefully you can see the benefits to this journey mindset and staying present, noticing what we're drawn to, what matters to us, and using that to shape our career. But what about those fears we experienced with the destination mindset when we got trapped? Those feelings of sunk costs, financial loss, falling behind, and so forth. Are those still prevalent with the journey mindset? Well, actually, much less so. With a destination mindset, these can feel tremendously powerful fears, really, really scary. But with a journey mindset, it's possible for them to diminish a bit. So, not knowing what job or career you'd like to do next. Well, firstly, this is less likely to happen with a journey mindset because you've been paying attention all along to what matters to you, what motivates you, and what fascinates you. So you're far less likely to end up in this position of hating your job. Furthermore, if you do reach a point where you're not happy in your work, it's less of a big deal because it's all just part of the journey. You've realized that this type of work doesn't really motivate you or interest you. Great, let's try something else. It's much more of an experimental test and learn mentality with a journey mindset. So if you find something that isn't right, you haven't failed. It's just another opportunity to test and learn. As for fearing sunk cost and this sort of idea of wasted effort, if we're truly testing and learning, there's no such thing as sunk cost because the time that we spent in that job, which we didn't particularly enjoy, that's not a sunk cost. Rather, it was a vital test from which we learned a huge amount about ourselves and the type of work we want to do. And remember, the more we adopt a journey mindset, the less likely we are to waste years in a role that we're a bit apathetic about. We wouldn't let that happen. We treat it as a useful test, learn that it's not right for us, and make a change earlier. Likewise, losing out financially becomes less of an issue. Firstly, because with a journey mindset, money and external reward is less of a focus. The focus is on internal rewards, figuring out what's right for us, testing and learning, finding work that fascinates us and that we think is worthwhile. Money, of course, comes into the equation. We all need money to live, but it's not the primary factor for why we choose a certain role or career path, as it is with the destination mindset. And secondly, and perhaps unsurprisingly, when we're doing work that's right for us, that plays to our strengths and that lights us up, the money often follows as we're more likely to be better at that type of work and we'll find it easy to go above and beyond what's expected of us. And what about falling behind peers and friends? Well, this too becomes less of an issue because with the journey mindset, you're in an individual race. You're carving out your own career path, finding the work that lights you up and triggers those internal rewards. And you recognize how important this is because you're after a fulfilling and flourishing career. So this issue of falling behind and constantly competing with others falls away. You're in your own race. So, we have covered a lot of ground. Let's pause and just reflect on what we've learned about the destination versus journey mindset. Here's a little summary table. Starting on the left, a destination mindset has a future focus as we make decisions now for the sake of often future rewards and outcomes, the prospect of a promotion, the pay rise to come. As discussed, it's focused on rewards that are external to ourselves, receiving good grades, being offered a good job, etc., rather than rewards which are internal. It's also the mindset of attaining. We want to attain or gain these external rewards. It's also normally a pretty linear route. We take the fastest or optimal route to reach the destination, for example, choosing the university course that we think will best prepare us for a good job. In this way, also, we're relatively close to other possibilities with a destination mindset because we're so focused on attaining a certain outcome or reward. Other possibilities are, if anything, a distraction from that outcome or reward. Conversely, with the journey mindset, the focus is much more on the present and noticing which activities give us internal rewards. We then make decisions with those internal rewards primarily in mind. We choose a career path or a university course because we enjoy it, because it interests us, and because it matters to us. It's also the mindset of learning as we're continually taking note of what we enjoy and don't enjoy, adopting a test and learn approach to try new things and reflect on them. And of course, with all this testing and learning, we are definitely open to possibilities, not closed. And I just want to reiterate what I mentioned near the start of the webinar. Destination mindsets aren't wrong or bad, but what's dangerous is only ever adopting a destination mindset because then you're never prioritizing yourself and those internal rewards that are so important for our happiness. So We've covered a lot of ground. I said at the beginning of the webinar that you're going to leave this webinar with the mindset, strategy, and some proven techniques to help you find your ideal career. And I hope you feel you've received that. The mindset is the journey mindset. The strategy is staying present in the journey and testing and learning. And as for the techniques, I shared the exercise on how to mine your previous experiences to define your ideal role. I also said at the start that I would address why the typical mindset and approach to choosing a career path isn't working for people, and why so many of us get stuck in roles and careers that we dislike. That, of course, was the destination mindset, where we make decisions for the sake of external rewards and outcomes. And if we only ever use this mindset, we can quickly find ourselves at the wrong destination. So whether you're about to enter the working world or are in it already, I hope you feel clearer now as to how you can go about finding not just your ideal job, but crafting your ideal career. These are tactics, strategies, the mindset for your whole life. Please feel free to forward this webinar onto any family, friends, colleagues that you think might find it useful. And I really hope that together we can start to turn that 85% disengaged figure on its head. So, very lastly, I said at the start, I'm going to give a quick overview of my Discover Your Dream Job program that makes finding your career direction simple. Now, you're going to have to trust me when I say that you already have all the information you need to discover your career direction. It's sitting inside your head. You just need the right process, exercises, and questions to access it. And that's exactly what Discover Your Dream Job is all about, helping you to gain access to that information and formulating it into a dream job description. So whether you're a student or have been working for years, this program will help you to find work that deeply matters to you, motivates you, fascinates you, and that pays enough. And we can do that in just 6 sessions. So you can say goodbye to blue Sunday evenings and dreading the start of the week, and hello to a fulfilling and meaningful career that you can be proud of. Now, so in practical terms, what do you get? Well, by the end of 6 coaching sessions, you will know your unique strengths, qualities, purpose, and values. These are key ingredients that help to determine your career direction. You'll also have a written down and crystal clear picture of your career direction. It'll read just like a job description. You'll have a short list of real life jobs to immediately apply for. We're going to go all the way through that. This isn't just theoretical where we think about, your unique strengths and skills and put a job description together. No, we're going to look at what are the jobs that best fit your dream job description. We're going to find them so that you can start applying for them immediately. And with all of this, you're going to feel incredibly motivated and confident to pursue the career direction of your choice. And now, I always ask my clients after the program when they've got their results, what was the real benefit for you of going on this program as opposed to going it alone? They'd seen this webinar, they understood the difference between a destination and journey mindset. They felt pretty motivated to either avoid or get out of the disengaged 85% group to find work that really lights them up. So why did they need to go on this program to get results? Why couldn't they just do it on their own? And the answer is for the same reason that we go to an exercise class rather than working out alone, or that we get a piano teacher rather than teaching ourselves. So firstly, I give you a proven path, proven process to follow. You don't have to worry about which exercises to do or whether you're moving towards your results or not. You just know you are because it's a proven path, it's a proven process, and it just allows you to focus on the task at hand. Secondly, it can be hard to find time to think about this career stuff, even if it's really important to you. And as awful as it may sound, when we pay for stuff, when we financially invest, we start taking that thing seriously because we want a return on our investment. By investing a bit of money in your career direction, it will become a priority in your life. You'll figure out what you want and you will get the outcomes that you're after. Thirdly, our motivation can wax and wane on our own, but with an encouraging coach by your side willing you on, those dips in motivation don't last long. It's about having social support is a real enabler of change. And fourthly, accessing the information in your head about your ideal career can be difficult on your own because your thoughts get jumbled or you get distracted or you go around in circles. But a coach listening can start to pick up on the threads of what you're saying. They can play back what you're saying, make observations, all of which allow you to gain clarity and explore way further and deeper than you would on your own. It's one of the main reasons that coaches exist, because thinking through this stuff on our own is tough. But you don't need to take my word for it that you'll get these benefits, that this works. Here are a few testimonials. James, a recent client of mine who now works for the civil service, says, as a confident self-starter, I struggled initially to see the value of coaching. What could a coach tell me about myself that I didn't already know? I think we've all been there, James. But in response, Ewan was patient and inquisitive. He led me through a number of structured exercises to help me define my core goals and uncovered a number of limiting beliefs preventing me achieving them. Our work together helped me establish a clarity of purpose, which ultimately led to a successful career transition from the private to public sector. I'd strongly recommend anyone considering their career next steps to do the same. Thank you, James. As you can see, a fantastic result there in the end, moving from private to public sector as a result of this program. And Joss, a senior operations manager who works for a large telecommunications company, says, professional coaching has been a phenomenal journey to self-discovery and encouragement. This has been a pivotal moment in my career. With Ewan's support, I've transitioned to a new role, taking on a wider remit, equipped with the necessary confidence and resilience to be set up for success. Thank you, Ewan, for your passion and dedication. It's been a remarkable process. Thank you, Joss. You know, it's not just me, it takes two. It's a real partnership, the coaching relationship. So our time really is nearly up. So I want to move on to final next steps. If you want to find your career direction and your dream job, the next step is a free of charge 30-minute sample coaching session. This will be over the phone, and it'll give you a wonderful insight into what coaching is like. It will also help us both decide whether we're a good coaching fit. You know, if we're going to embark on a 6-session program together, it's an important thing for us to decide. So at the end of the sample coaching session, we can just have a chat about that. Both of us can walk away. There's absolutely no pressure. Alternatively, it could be the start of a very exciting 6 sessions. If you'd like to book a sample session or think it could be right for one of your friends, family, or colleagues, there's one very simple next step. Click on the Book a Free Sample Session button on my website. You can just see it at the top there. If you're on desktop, it'll be in the top right-hand corner. If you're on your phone, it'll be on the drop-down menu when you click on the burger bar. And then simply fill out the form on the page. Once you click on that button, put in your name, email address, drop me a message if you like, and then I'll be in touch by email and we can find a convenient time for us both to schedule the free of charge sample coaching session. And that is a wrap. Thank you so much for your concentration. I really do hope this has been useful. The fact that you're still here suggests that it probably has been, and I look forward to hearing from you and maybe even to helping you discover your dream job and career direction. Until then, have a wonderful rest of the day.